Welcome back to another episode of Last One y Nos Vamos.
Yes, guys, welcome back to another episode.
My name is Margarita. You can find me on Instagram and on social media. On Instagram and on TikTok as your favorite Margarita.
Yes, guys, if you guys haven't clicked on this video before and you're new, my name is Lorenzo and you can find me at Ruthless Clothing.
Yes, sir. And welcome back, guys. Thank you guys for clicking on this video. I want to thank our new subscribers. If you guys haven't caught up in any other videos, check them out. Check out vlogs. We've also vlogged before.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of vlogs, are you ready for Mexico? Are we ready?
Yeah, sure. Uh-huh.
I'm ready to hear the live music, see the everything. Which reminds me, we need to take money out.
That's crazy because it's going to be hot over there.
I know. It's always hot over there when we go.
Yes, but that's what I'm saying. It's a different weather.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited, though. I'm really excited.
It's crazy because we go from cold, hot.
Mm-hmm. I know.
In 2 months.
Literally.
Well, thank you because we were able to travel and that's why I'm saying all that.
Yeah. So saludos a todos los de Teco.
Mm-hmm.
Ahí nos vemos pronto. But yeah, no, we need to remember to take money out.
Yes, we do.
But yeah, no, I need to remember to take money out. And speaking of money, Lenchito, did you know that the American okay, do you know what our dollar bills are made out of?
Special paper that not everybody can have. Only the government can.
Yes, it's paper. I don't know if we could call it paper. Can we really call it paper? Because it's made out of linen and cotton.
I didn't know that one.
Yeah, I guess it's made out of 75% cotton and then the rest of it is linen.
What is linen? Are you able to tell me?
I'm thinking like linen, like como de parte, like what they
plastic?
make. Not, I don't know if it's a plastic, but I couldn't. What I can imagine is what they make our like the sheets, like a bed sheets out of. You know, like linens and sheets.
Okay,
that's the first thing that came to my mind. But yeah, just a little fun fact there for you. So if you didn't know, now you know.
I think. Well, you talking about Mexico. I think we could move to another type of way to make money, like Mexico money.
Mexican money?
The plastic one.
I know. You know, I was so freaking surprised when I found out that they make their money out of plastic.
That's what it seems like, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're guessing, but
I don't know if all of them, but I know like the el de 20 pesos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's not the fun part about money. What makes the fun part about it is conspiracies about the money.
What are you talking about? Not only conspiracy, having money makes it fun too.
It does. I mean, heck yes, everybody loves money. Everything makes it fun. But what's even more fun is like the secrets or like conspiracy theories behind the money. Like, what's a conspiracy that you know about money?
I don't have no conspiracies about money. Like, top of my head, no.
Or like when you were little, you don't remember anything about like the money. Like there's something like stuff encrypted or like secrets behind the dollar bills.
Oh, you're talking like the actual bill.
Yeah,
I'm
the actual
thinking
bill.
like money, like, you know, how money came from and stuff like that.
Like how it started.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
that's
there
what
is
I'm
history.
thinking about.
Yeah, there is history about it, but
I'm kind of dummy on that one because you're basically telling us the material of the money. So I should have thought about that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the most common one is basically the tragedy that happened in 2001.
Yes.
And, you know, then they started looking into the money. I hope that's like, it's not creative. Is it creative? Like folding it and then noticing basically something that actually happened.
Yeah, like who came up with it? Like, okay, yeah, like who said, okay, let me fold this up to see what I find. But what's something that now that you mentioned like the whole tragedy happened? What do you know about it? Like, what did you hear about it?
On the $20 bill, you can see the Twin Towers going in flames, and almost at the same time on a part of, you know, the actual situation when it was happening, like one tower was smaller than the other one, and actually you can see it on the $20 bill.
Yes. So that's one that I do want to talk about. So yeah, so if you notice, so not only yes, you can see it, but think about the way do you remember the way that they fold it? Like what does it kind of look like? Like what does it symbolize, or what does it kind of look like? Like when you fold it up, what is the shape of?
It's just folded like almost like a triangle, but you have two long areas. I know you're probably trying to say a paper plane, but it does not look like a paper plane.
No, I mean we know what a paper plane looks like, but if you really pay attention, it kind of looks like an airplane, right?
Is that how they actually describe it?
I don't know if that's the
when
way.
you're looking at it, like when you're searching it, or
When
if anybody searched for it, is it like paper airplane fold? I don't think so. It's just $20 bill fold.
Yeah, it's a 20. It's just folded, but like if you really, it's not what I saw. Like I did the research, like, oh yeah, when you fold it up, it looks like a plane. But when I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, like this kind of looks like an airplane.
Well,
I wish I had a dollar bill so I can like show it.
Fun fact, something, don't quote me on it, but something I know, and that's why I was overthinking about it. JC, I don't know if you know, but basically he has a brand called Paper Plane or Airplane, and his logo is an actual paper airplane. So there's a conspiracy. I think there's something about that there too. So I guess, yes, you can call it a paper airplane and somewhat. So yeah, guys, look into that if you really want to know, because I don't know the whole deal. I've heard of it though.
And all of this that we're talking about, by the way, you know how you say, you know, don't quote me on it. You know, it's just stuff that we looked up, right? And it's
Or
stuff
comes up.
Or that comes up like whenever we're scrolling through social media, or stuff that we've even heard, you know, in the past. But it's not stuff that we're claiming, right? It's just theories, right? Conspiracy theories that have been out there for a while now.
Yeah, especially that one, the Twin Towers. I can remember back, we're talking about at least 15 years.
And who, along with that, like who was the president while, you know, during 9/11?
George Bush, right?
George Bush. Yeah.
Junior.
George, junior, because they're senior, yes. Yeah. So pretty much there was a man like in 2004 that he pretty much claims that on the back of the $20 bill, you know how there's like a watermark just to make sure that the dollar is real. Like you're able to, like if you look at it, you know, just like this, you won't be able to see, you'll just see whatever you see in the front. But if you look it up in the light, you'll be able to see like almost some sort of watermark.
If you guys don't know, but checks used to have that as well.
Yeah.
But la gente that's too new, you know, it's not too new, but basically are still young. They probably would never see a check in their life anymore. But yeah, checks as well.
But going back to the watermark. So again, so there's this man in 2004 that claimed to be able to see like on the watermark that it was it looked like George W. Bush and that he had horns. And he showed it like crazy. That, like this man, he preserved it. You can tell that he kept it like in this plastic and it was preserved. And yeah, like when I saw it, like on the video that he showed, you're able to see kind of like horns. And I mean, it can be anything, right? It can be that, you know, on the other side, there's something that made it look like that. But he claims that you're able to see George W. Bush with the horns.
A quick question about that, because I remember around those years we were transitioning to new dollar bills. So is that the old $20 bill or the new one?
I don't know, but it was in 2004.
I remember the new one. I don't even know if it's the one that we have at the moment. But when you put it, I know you can see the watermark of somebody's face, but I thought it was still the person that's in the actual dollar bill. Yeah.
That you were able to. Yeah, I don't know if it's that same one that we're talking about, but yeah, you're able to see like the person. But it's not George W. Bush though. It's not George W. Bush on it, but
okay.
It is that, you know, it is, who is it? Jefferson.
It's basically a smaller picture of that president that's on the
dollar bill. Yeah, not the dollar bill, the $20 bill. Yes, but what this man saw, you know how like he thinks that you're able to see the president on there. That's what he claims. So I just thought that was...
That guy was looking at that Mr. George Bush a lot then.
Yeah.
Because the lobongan así, it's George Bush for sure.
Yep. I know. And here's the thing, like with conspiracies, there's a lot of things that are connected that with like one thing. So like with the whole 9/11 thing, like there's this person that's connected with this and this event is connected with this. So there's just so many like things that are, you know, how would I say, like they come together and
wasn't Senior like a tragedy happened when Senior was
I know there was a war.
President?
I think there was a war también. Yeah. I think it was something part about a war.
I remember when Junior, what are we gonna say? Junior Bush or what?
George W. Bush.
Yeah, but I'm trying to because junior and senior. So
Okay, junior.
junior, I remember a lot of the times people were saying like, "Oh, he's just trying to finish what his dad didn't finish."
Yes. No, I remember that. I mean,
Hmm.
it's just like, again, we don't know the
Yeah,
whole
like it goes
story.
back, like you're saying, like everything is almost connected to each
Hmm.
other. So that was
Yeah.
one of them that I remember. Like people were saying, like, "Oh, he's just trying to finish what his dad didn't finish."
Yes, and that's the whole conspiracy behind that. I remember hearing that too.
Hmm.
That supposedly that the whole Twin Tower thing, well, that's kind of like they gave him like that was orchestrated by like supposedly like the U.S. government, blah blah blah,
Hmm.
so that it can give them a reason to go to war
Hmm.
in Iraq. But it's just a bunch of claims that people were making. Again, that's why it's a conspiracy. We don't know about it. Like the only people that will be able to confirm it is them themselves, and even though if they say no, it's not us, people are still not going to believe it because there's people are going to be questioning. Well, what about
There's
this?
a lot of clues.
Yeah, there's a
that
lot of
kind
clues.
point.
Yeah, that kind of point to like, are you sure?
Hmm.
But going back to George W. Bush, have you ever heard of Skull and Bones Society?
I have not.
You have not. I'm surprised you have not. And I've heard about it again, and it probably on YouTube. I most likely on YouTube. A veces me pongo ahí looking at conspiracies. Well, I used to, not so much anymore. But since we were going to be talking about money, I was like, oh, I remembered about this. And then when I saw the guy with George Bush and the horns, it brought me back to that. So Skull and Bones, it's a secret society, kind of like I guess like the Illuminati, right? The Illuminati, only like certain people can be part of it.
Mm.
So Skull and Bones is a society. It's a secret society that only people can go in, and a lot of people are saying that the Bush family, a lot of the Bush family were members of that.
Mm.
And it has something, I guess the definition of it has something to do about death, like society of death or something like that. Not one, again, don't quote me, but that they were part of that. And, like that some of the, like the initiations are like crazy initiations. I'm not going to say what they are. Like go look them up because I don't want to say it on here.
Mm-hmm.
It was just some like weird initiations that you have to do, even with like.
So, but they incriminate themselves like with deaths or what? I mean, just by going off bones.
No, I mean, I don't know. I didn't look it up like everything about it, but I guess he was just part of the secret society, right? And I don't know, with the whole horns and death and skulls, like that just brought me back to, I was like, what, like, is there's some connection with that dollar bill? So it's just something that I saw that interested me. And to add to that, somebody was interviewing him, and when they asked him about being part of that society, like you can tell he got really uncomfortable. There was somebody else that was questioned about the Skull and Bones también. It was in George W. Bush. And again, like he was slouching and immediately just like their posture just got different. And you can tell they just got uncomfortable, because you can tell when somebody gets uncomfortable. Like if you say something, like they're going to change something about themselves. Right? So versus if they would have asked him about it and he would have kept like his same posture or whatever, it probably wouldn't have been weird. But it was just weird. Like if you ever get to see the interview, you're gonna be like, I never paid attention to this. Okay, so now back, since we're still talking about George W. Bush, we're gonna keep talking about the $20 bill. Going back to the $20 bill. So what year did CO happen? I don't know if we're about to say that on here.
I couldn't capture it.
Oh, the year that we had to wear the masks.
Oh, the vid?
The vid. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Good. That's a good catch. So what year did that happen?
Starting at the end of 2019.
2019, but
No.
when did it like...
Was it 2019 or was the end of 2018?
I think we started kind of hearing things about it, but here in the US, like when was like the first, like when did they like shut off? Like when did everything shut off?
2019, right?
So it was 2020. So 2020 was when like everything pretty much shut down and everybody was pretty much like, going crazy. So what, so $20 bill, right? 2020.
Oh, okay.
Are you putting something together? No? Yeah. You following me?
Basically the bones.
$20 bill. So people are claiming that when they fold the $20 bill, and you flip it upside down, like you have to fold it a certain way where only this part is showing, like just the forehead and the eyes are showing. If you flip it upside down, people are claiming that they're able to see like a old lady with a mask on or somebody with a mask on. So I'm like, I need to show. I should have showed you.
I have a $20 bill. You want to show us?
Sure. Thank you for bringing me the dollar bill. So the way that I saw them fold it, they're going to get their $20 bill and then they're going to fold it here. They're going to fold it like right where the hairline is at. And then they're going to fold it like right where the eyes are at. Like so. So kind of fold the bottom so you can only see the eyes. So when you fold it like this, you should be able to see. Watch, I'll give it to you. Like try to stare like, I kind of saw it, but you have to like really, really focus on it so that you can see like if somebody has a mask and the eyes are, I don't know. I kind of saw it. No, not that one. The other side. That side.
I mean, yeah, it's basically just the eyes. So that's all you were able to see around that year. So yeah, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. So it kind of looks like it's wearing a mask. So 2020. And then another thing is like somebody did the math like during the vid.
Do you want to show us the Twin Towers?
Yeah. You do it. You know how to do it.
No, go for it.
No? Okay. So you're going to fold your dollar bill in half. Okay. So you're going to fold it like this. Okay. And then you are going to fold it up like this and like this. And it looks like an airplane. This is what I mean that it looks like an airplane. Nomás le hace falta like the little handle down here so we can throw it. But yeah, no, it looks like one is higher than the other. I don't know if you guys can see. But yeah, give it a try. And there we go.
Let me see.
See? Here you go. I think it's interesting. I just think it's like, who had the time to look this stuff up or like move stuff around?
Sorry to interrupt you, but you had it backwards.
Oh, it was the other way around?
Yeah.
Well, you got the gist of it. Like one side or the other has, it just looks like it's burning. Like when the planes hit, it just looks like it's. But yeah, so going back to right now that we're talking about the Twin Towers, I'm glad that you brought that back up now that we're on it. So if you add 11 plus 9 or 9 plus 11, what does it equal?
20.
20. And on what dollar bill are we able to see the towers burning?
20.
The $20 bill.
Jeez.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay. Okay.
See, like there's just so many
$20 bill
conspiracy theory
overthinking here. It's making a lot of sense.
I know. And it's just stuff that interests me. And I'm not saying like I believe it or I don't believe it. It's just interesting to see all this stuff out there and the people who have time to be able to do all this stuff. True. And I mean, I don't know. What movie was it? I mean, I don't know if you've seen like some movies where maybe like a detective, right? Like they have a whole, corkboard and they're trying to pin everything together. That's pretty much what that reminds me of. Like they're just putting clues together. Okay. You know what I mean? Like, so I feel like that's what the conspiracy theorists do. Like, okay, like this president, all of these tragedies that happen, like maybe they connect some way, somehow. It's just interesting to me. Okay. But that's pretty much it for the $20 bill. Now the $1 bill. Does anybody got a $1 bill? Wave it in the air.
I actually do have a lot of $20 bills right now. No, $1 bill. I mean, sorry, I actually do have a lot of dollar bills right now.
Can you go grab one really quick? Oh, no.
So, mira como que fui una parte.
I know. Yesterday you had a bunch of $1 bills on the table. I was like, where are you going? All right. It's clean. Yeah, hey, did you know? Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure like everybody knows that, where everybody touches. It's just I don't know, nothing to do with what we're talking about. But I was reading that our dollars, they either have
so many things.
They have so many things on it. Like they're like, it's like the dirtiest thing in the whole wide world. And imagine sometimes we're just like in a rush. We get our snacks, we're eating with our hands. That's nasty. And that some of them are probably tainted with drogas. Okay, so our $1 bill Probably doesn't get as much nowadays, right? Not even at the 99 cent store we can.
No,
This is
'cause
worth
that
anything
tax.
anymore because of taxes, and now the 99 cent store is like over 99 cents now. But okay, so someone who had a lot of time or is a conspiracy theorist, took got the dollar bill, and they ended up changing the contrast on the American seal here.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard about this? Any conspiracy theories about the dollar bill?
Not really. I
Anything that
mean,
you
we
can
can
remember?
see the Illuminati in there. That's pretty much the most known one.
The watchful eye.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I guess since you mentioned that one, I'll start with that one. So supposedly the eye, it's pretty much just to keep an eye on the United States for their well-being, blah blah blah. But there's the conspiracy theorists that are like, no, like this is the Illuminati, like you said, the Illuminati. It's pretty much like what they say? They called it like the New World Order, that evil has pretty much taken over the government, and the government's pretty much just being ran by evil people. Which, you know what? Maybe not. I don't know. I'm just living my life.
You know what's on that eye?
On the eye?
What's underneath the eye?
A pyramid?
Does United States have pyramids? Why is there a pyramid in the actual dollar bill?
Yeah, see? And that's the thing. And right now that you're saying about the pyramids, what's something that you heard about the pyramids? What's something like pyramids and aliens, right?
Yes.
That they chart, that's how they get their energy and stuff like that. Or that que así se cara. I don't know, something about the pyramids and aliens.
The way that the pyramids are made are basically facing a way that, yes, they get some type of energy. Correct.
Yeah, that they give some sort of energy. So with that being said, since we're talking about the aliens, somebody talking about this, since I had mentioned the seal a little bit earlier. The seal, there was the guy, someone, I'm not going to say the guy, someone took the seal and they changed the contrast, and the darker it got, you were able to see an alien. So let me show you really quick.
Oh, you're gonna put it into the contrast now live?
No.
Oh man,
I don't know if I'll be able to do that.
Yeah, I thought you had that much capabilities of equipment here.
I don't know. This person, I'm telling you, people just have time in their hands, and they do all the dirty work for us.
I think I've seen it though. I think I've seen the alien little conspiracy.
And it's trippy because it does look like it. A ver si lo encuentro. Oh, here it is. Here, I'll show it. Can you see it? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they changed the contrast, and I'm like, let me see if I can see it. No, I mean, I don't see anything, but yeah, they changed the contrast and it looks like an alien. Can you see anything?
Yeah.
Like where the wings are at? Yeah. Mm-hmm. See, and like for so long, I know the government didn't like deny it, or actually, no, yeah, they did deny it. So I don't know if you remember Roswell in New Mexico. Roswell, New Mexico. Mm-hmm. So I can't remember what year it was. Long before us. Mm-hmm. So long before us, there was something crashed in Roswell, New Mexico. It was reported, of course, and then next thing you know, the military ended up taking over it, and they did they did their investigation, and then they ended up saying like, oh no, it was just a weather balloon. No, what is it called? A weather balloon, some sort of balloon, pretty much just to keep an eye on like the enemies, making sure that they don't, come in and try to attack us or anything like that. So that was their claim, but it was actually, I don't know if it's been complained, but confirmed. But sí, supuestamente que sí era un alien. And now, fast forward, it's now been confirmed that there are aliens. So I'm like, why cover it up? Like, is it? I guess because maybe is it because we're not ready for it? I'm like, I believe in aliens. I'm like, I've seen a spaceship. People are not going to believe me, but I believe in them. Mm-hmm. And I know there's been so many, like if they covered that up or they didn't really speak out on that. So it's like, what else is, out there that we don't know about?
Oh, for sure. There's a lot out there that we probably had a little glimpse of it, but I know not enough information.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, I just think it's so cool how like these conspiracy theories, they're just curious. They're just curious to know just like me, like I'm curious to know. And there's people who are out there doing the, the dirty work for us so that we can be entertained. But yeah, Lanchito. But yeah, guys, I hope this, you guys learned something or maybe sparked some curiosity to look a little bit more into it. Because there's like so much more conspiracies about like the currency and how it's connected to like certain events that have occurred. So yeah, look into it. If you guys find any, drop them in the comments.
Well, it's crazy that you're saying, currency and conspiracy, but you don't think like, obviously, it's a little harder for people actually to have money in them now, like actual bills on them.
Yeah.
So
I don't even carry them anymore.
So you think we're going to go to the actual digital type of money? Cryptocurrency.
Whatever happened with that? I don't know. But I mean, we started using like Zelle and stuff like that. But I mean, if you really think about it, like money, it's kind of like, it's just it's nothing.
So it's a number, it's a digital number already.
It's just a digital number. Yeah.
Well, that's where we're moving more. But like, you know how everything kind of like has a value and then it gets changed and then it has a value and like that, because we can say like right now we're in the middle or maybe past that. So meaning like before money, it was actually goods, right?
Yeah.
And now money is almost getting old. So now you're getting cryptocurrency that's digital, even though it was already digital in a form. So cryptocurrency, for sure, another way that, I feel like we're going to start having dollar bills as collections now.
Yeah.
Collectibles. So for sure on cryptocurrency, it's crazy how it could be so small and turn so big just by margin. So, there was this guy in Georgia. He when cryptocurrency or Bitcoin, one of the cryptocurrencies, when Bitcoin was becoming known, 2012, he somehow came up with 50,000 Bitcoins.
Órale, that's a lot, no?
Yes, now it is, but in 2012 it wasn't much, right?
Because nobody knew about it, really knew about it.
Have you heard about the pizza that somebody paid with a couple Bitcoins for a pizza?
No.
When it was 2012, when it was like becoming something bigger already?
No, never heard of it. I mean, I only learned about Bitcoin because of you.
Okay.
And it was a really big thing just recently when the guy became really rich. From buying stock. Was it stock? Something about GameStop. What happened? Something like that? A guy became really rich from buying that?
From a stock. But it's not really, that doesn't have to really do with cryptocurrency, but just the stock. Yeah, so around before cryptocurrency became a bigger thing, meaning Bitcoin. Let's talk about Bitcoin, like I mentioned to you about the pizza. Somebody paid with for the pizza with Bitcoin. And it became a bigger or larger money. So people will mention like, well, he probably feels dumb because he could become a millionaire because that Bitcoin got so big, right?
Yeah.
So where I'm going with that, this Georgia man, his name is Jimmy Song. He somehow got so much Bitcoin. And at this moment, he had a lavish life in Georgetown by the University of Georgia. And he was a graduate, but he still lived there. So he will live a lavish life that, he will go out to places and party it. His life was mostly party. Everybody knew him from partying a lot. So at this moment, he left somewhere and came back. When he came back, somebody stole some money in Bitcoin.
Dang.
But this guy didn't really have friends. You know how a lot of the times people that party, they don't really actually have friends.
They're more acquaintances.
It's more like they're just party friends.
Yeah.
I feel almost like high school. You have high school friends, but a lot of the times after high school, ya no tienes the same communication with them, right?
Yeah.
So same thing with him. He calls 911 to report that somebody has stolen, the Bitcoin and the money. He had $400,000 in this area that he hid it. And then he had about 1,500 or 150 Bitcoins. inside this area that he hid it. So he called the cops, and he told them like, hey, somebody broken into my house. So for him, he was saying that he didn't really have people over unless it was his friends that he partied with. So they couldn't figure it out. The cops couldn't figure it out. So they basically, he hired a private investigator. Mm-hmm. So again, the private investigator is making a bunch of questions, asking them like, who you think came in or who broke in. And he had a pretty high sophisticated security system.
Okay.
So, she was like, who broke in and who basically knew you have money in there and how did you get it? Especially 150 Bitcoins, all the Bitcoins that were in there, and who will have 400,000?
Question. How much is one Bitcoin worth?
At this moment, it was way more. So let's say approximately the $400,000 and the Bitcoin that was there, totally putting them together, almost $1 million.
Ooh,
So,
damn.
it was a lot of money because 150 Bitcoin to have like that much amount of money like that, it's kind of crazy. Not everybody's going to have that, especially if you didn't believe onto it. Like you're not going to have that many.
Yeah.
All right. And this was already in 2019. So in 2019, let's say the Bitcoin in 2012 was $13. And this time period, it was about, let's say, $4,000 each little Bitcoin. So it was $600,000.
So it was an actual like coin.
Cryptocurrency is a little bit different. You can have it like digital. You can have an actual coin. They did make an actual coin, or you can have it almost like a computer.
Oh,
but
yeah, I know the digital
those are the types of the way to have them.
Yeah.
Or like a USB drive as well.
What?
So it just has to do basically. They're just numbers and letters.
Yeah.
It's just a chain. A lot of the blockchain, they call it.
Because I was only familiar with the digital one. I didn't even know that there was like actual coins or a USB drive. Oh my gosh, no way.
They put the blockchain into the USB drive, I believe.
Oh, okay.
I'm not a geek either on this, so don't quote me on quote.
But from what you understand.
But this is what I understand from it. So the private investigators looks into the friends basically because he mentioned like only friends went over, like who knew that money was there, correct? So a lot of the times, the friends that he had, again, he lived a party life. So even like downtown, he was buy drinks for everybody, almost 100 people, and he will buy drinks. And people just saw him like
how is he spending all this money?
Again, the name kind of gives it out. Jimmy Song, Zhong, So he is kind of like a Philippine or Asian descent. And a lot of times, what do we say? Like, que tienen dinero, que no?
I'm like, we say that. A lot of people.
People, like, if you see them, you kind of feel like they have money because they're hard workers. I mean, you get me? So a lot of the times we're like, oh, they have money. Or a lot of the times they have a lot of negocios. You get me?
Yeah, no, I get what you mean. Like, like even myself, like when we go, like I get what you mean. I get what you mean.
So
I'm not even going to try to explain it. Like, I get what you mean.
So, these people, his friends, so-called friends, it wasn't a red flag to see him have money, really.
Yeah.
So he will kind of say that, he has money. And I don't really recall if he mentioned he had some Bitcoin. And again, at this time, Bitcoin was it was pretty big already. So he will buy that. Georgia, the University of Georgia, if I mentioned already that he graduated there. So he loved the football team. They are the Bulldogs. And then in 2018, basically a year before this happened to him, he flew like 5 people to the Rose Bowl because they had the championship here. So when he brought them over, he paid for everything, a private jet. And he gave them $10,000. Yeah, he gave them $10,000 for each individual to spend a Rodeo Drive.
And they're not even his friends. They're just his party friends.
Well, yeah. I'm going to tell you why. Basically, we're saying party friends. So again, the biggest person that, or the people that were more likely to rob him, was these people that he hanged out with them. But people loved him as well because he will be nice and be doing these things
Ches
to,
interesados.
well, kind of to win time or spend time with these people was almost a thing, because he didn't really have a big family. He didn't have a family. His only family was his dog.
Aww.
So he basically did this to, to be that popular person. And, people liked him. Can't remember if with the deputy, if the same deputy that went for the 911 call when they stole the money from him, I can't remember if he became friends with him or he kind of knew him, because at the same time, he would get in trouble.
Yeah.
One of the times that Jimmy got in trouble, he had a DUI from there. And the second time he got in trouble by the law was he was bragging on a bar that he had 30,000 worth of cocaine on him to two girls.
Oh my gosh.
So he incriminated himself because there was a off-duty cop around there, and they got him.
Yeah.
So again, he was popular. People knew he had money, and this deputy would talk to him and ask him like, "Oh, what you do?" and all this. So they, he was just looking for somebody to talk to, so he will talk to him. So he felt comfortable with him. One time, the deputy, he got a phone call from an IRS agent. And the IRS agent basically wants to kind of know like what's going on with Jimmy with the 150 Bitcoins that got stolen from him. But the reason why these IRS agents communicated the deputy was because back in 2012, 50,000 Bitcoins got stolen from a black web page. And the web page is called Silk Road.
Silk Road?
Yeah, so it's a dark web page that you can buy anything from. Drugs, from, anything that you can think of.
Anything
basically.
that you can't buy, but you can buy.
Yeah, correctly. They basically contacted him and asked him like, "Oh, who's this Jimmy, And he basically told them everything he knew. Like, yeah, like I've talked to him. He has told me before that he spent about $500,000, almost $500,000 in just downtown, just in bars and stuff." And he was like, "Oh, okay." The IRS was looking for this person that did this back in 2012. He was kind of one of the persons to look into because, again, 150 Bitcoins in that era, 2018, was a pretty big amount already because it grew. The other way that the IRS was able to know that it was him, they got somebody else. So you know how governments get like a third-party company to get hired to do anything?
To do their like
it could be
investigations
anything. It could be like
that?
an investigation. This point, it was an investigation, and more it was because of the blockchain. So this third-party company, they focus themselves on the blockchain. And you probably never heard of it, but a lot of the, like at the beginning and years before, a lot of us, including me, I have heard that supposedly it was hard to trace back to know, like, oh, let's say you bought something in that black market, right? Like you bought something, so everybody thought it was hard to go back and know who it was. Yeah. But technically speaking, no, you're able to do it. And that's what this third company does. They go back and see who it leads to.
I mean, of course. I mean, especially if it was done digitally.
Well, yes, but think about it, that it's a lot of research. It's not easy research. You have to it's almost like, you know how they show cells, as cells reproduce like that? It's almost like that. Imagine it does that very quickly.
Well, whoever has time is going to make time too.
Correct. So yeah, this guy basically did that. Well, he's saying that all the way since Bitcoin was made in 2009, like you can find out you could basically find out who made the purchase or who did a transaction. Jimmy, with the whole thing that happened that got stolen, he was already like suspicious that he could be a lead suspect on this 50,000 that got stolen. And one thing that gave it out was because he made a purchase or a transfer of $800 to his name. That's where they got his name actually from this little thing. If he technically wouldn't done that, let's say he could have put a fake name, they wouldn't have found out it was him. One, and second, if he would have never made that 911 call, they would have never figured out it was him. But because all of these were putting together, they felt like he was a main suspect.
But that's what they say, like that a lot of like people who commit crimes, that's how they start getting caught, because they're very prideful of what they're doing. So they start talking to people because remember how that happened with like the whole Kobe thing? With like the whole crash.
Oh, right.
How the police officers were bragging about it.
The
firefighters. Yeah. Oh, they were firefighters. They started bragging about it. And that's how they ended up finding out. Like they were like, this is so wrong. So somebody spoke out about it. Because you don't think that anybody's going to speak out, because you're just like, well, I've never seen this person before. Like I've never seen this person. I probably won't see them again.
Right.
And this guy didn't think that.
They did it in a bar too.
Exactly. Like he was going around bragging around. He should just kept it hush hush, and he would have been fine. And then how are you gonna call the police that somebody stole something from you that you stole? But well, technically he didn't steal it.
He did.
Yeah, he did steal it.
But they, it basically started leading up to him.
Yeah.
And the whole thing about them finding out like a clue of him was not until 2018. Like that's when he kind of popped off the name of with the whole transaction. Basically the blockchain, that's how the agent knew about it. And then at the same time, with the 2019 call, he became a target, like, he's able to. And something I didn't mention, when he graduated from George University, he basically graduated as computer science.
Órale.
So that was another, another pista that it was like, okay, like he's capable of doing it.
So he bought this from the black market then?
No, he actually stole it.
Wait, so was he just trying to like mislead the cops?
No, so again, the reasons why they find out it was him because of the 2018
911 call
and the 911 call.
But
the deputy, when the IRS agent contacted him, he was like, "Oh, well, I'm pretty sure he will be able to like we'll be able to go over his house and ask him some questions," because they wanted to know how he gathered this Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And again, he was a main suspect already.
Yeah.
This happened in 2021, and they never really found anything about who stole his Bitcoin. But in 2021, the deputy was like, I think if I call him, he'll let us go in, because again, he didn't really have any friends or family.
Yeah.
So he knew he liked to talk. He liked company. They were like, let me email him, see if he responds, and we can go over his house. They did. They went over the house, but the strategy they used was, we need more questions to know about what happened to you with your stolen Bitcoin. They never told them there was already a big investigation on him on the 50,000 Bitcoins that were stolen from this the black market webpage. The agents, the deputy, they have a way of form to get people to be comfortable, right?
Yeah.
So they started like making compliments to him, like nice house. He had the house right there on the city.
Jeez.
And he had another house in a lake. So he was like, a
college student with this much money? Yeah, that would be definitely raise some eyebrows.
He was like just making a bunch of comments, nice dogs, nice house, and they started asking him like, how did you get this Bitcoin, or what you do, Jimmy? Because I don't really know what you do. I know you spend a lot of money on the city by going to these bars, but how do you have this money? He's like, by real estate. And then he's like, okay. And they started asking him like, how did you get into Bitcoin? And he's like, since the beginning, since 2009. When he was comfortable, he started showing them around his house.
Órale.
And if you're like if you know about this, there is Bitcoin mining. I don't know if you ever heard of that.
No, I haven't.
They basically use your computer, or they use a computer to be able to like it's almost like that, like mining.
Yeah.
You're producing more Bitcoin, or you're just making more of the blockchain. But he show them a big old thing, like a big old computer. I don't know
Yeah.
if you ever seen like commercials where they have like a big computer, like they have a bunch of cables. No, like even like I think like internet providers, you'll show them. I know you might seen them, but at the
Probably
moment,
has, but no me acuerdo.
no te acuerdas. So he had one of those like this big in his house. And he's showing them like, you know, I have this Wi-Fi already before anybody else. And again, he was a computer science.
So he was hacking the system. Well, not
Well,
really.
they knew that this would be a capable person to do it with the system he had.
Yeah.
So yeah, like they were kind of leading like, yeah, he could be really it. Like he's capable of doing it. Eventually, they got a search warrant on him. They needed to actually get on his laptop, because the first time that they went over, he bragged to them that he had like 1,500 on just the laptop itself. So that was at that moment, that the first interview, that was almost $60 million to $90 million right there in front of the deputy. So that's why they were like, oh, we can move forward and get this warrant on him, right? And they did. And eventually they had to make sure that they get the computer though, because that was one of the biggest evidence they had.
Yeah,
because
where he was
obviously
storing
they
it
showed,
all-
they showed them to it. They put I believe they call it a jiggler. So it's basically like a thing where the mouse starts moving. So it's almost like a USB, I believe,
Yeah,
and the
so
mouse
it
starts
looks like
moving
it's still
itself.
moving,
Para que no se apague.
Yeah.
The deputy again made him feel comfortable. And he's like, oh, let's go look at the lake view. And somebody put it in there when they got him up. And that's when they broke it down to him. It was like, oh, Jimmy, you know, we told you that we were trying to get a little bit more information. Whoever stole more information from you to see who stole the 150 Bitcoin from you. But actually, there's going to be a warrant in your property for this investigation of the 50,000 Bitcoins that got stolen in 2012.
You know what all of this is reminding me of? Billions. Remember that there was an episode where they had like a bunch of like hard drives, but it was those hard drives were literally worth millions of dollars.
They're hard drives and they're computers at the same time.
Yeah, well, yeah, they're computers, but like that's what it's reminding me of. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like, is this based off of billions? I'm like the ¿cómo se dice?
Like
The correlation
episode?
of it. Yeah, like an episode of it.
Billions that have a bunch of like little random things like that come up and like events that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of funny that you mentioned that, but yeah, like it's almost like it will be in a billionth episode.
Yeah. I mean, they have to get the inspiration from somewhere. They don't just pull it out of their ass and just be like, oh, we're going to have this episode on, you know, this.
When they did the warrant, guess where he had like one of the computers of where a lot of the Bitcoin was in.
Where did he have it stored?
You're going to be like, what? But I think a lot of us, meaning like, I remember our family, we used to do it.
Underneath the mattress?
No.
Where?
On a popcorn tin. The
big tin old popcorn?
He had a towel. He had the computer wrapped in them towels inside of there.
Oh, mood. Oh, like the cookies with us, but we make it into the sewing kit machine.
Yeah. You guys never stored anything on those popcorn tins?
No, we were rich enough to own a tin popcorn.
I mean, a nosotros nos lo daban, though. Like, I remember putting stuff in there.
No, I don't remember that.
Just like you mentioned the cookies, the cookie tin as well.
So he was hiding it. So he was pretty much just trying to hide it.
Yeah, that was a hiding spot for him, basically. But they brought out a dog and they started looking for other clues. He had...
the dog found the popcorn.
No, this dog is trained, right? So he found like dollar bills, he found coins, they found other computers. He had old dollar bills that were gonna be like collectibles. So that's why I was telling you earlier, like, right? Like
collecting.
dollar
They're
bills
collectibles.
gonna be like collectibles now.
No, there are like the $2 bills. You know how people are collecting them,
right? And coins too now.
and coins too. No, like you're no, like the right now that you're mentioning collectibles. I remember one time, and I was telling you the other day. I was like, remember when you were telling me that there's a penny that is worth like hundred thousands of dollars, probably. I don't know. Maybe it's too much by now. I don't know. Maybe that's pretty much worth thousands of dollars. So there's a coin. There's actually a penny.
Lot of coins. But
yeah, no, there's a lot of coins.
Penny.
Yeah, there's a lot of coins, but the one that I remember is the penny. It's worth a couple $1,000s, probably even like $500,000, and I can't remember exactly which one it is. But but it's one that's made out of metal. And the funny thing is that I think I did write it down. Let me see if I can find it. It's like from like 19 something.
Well, meanwhile,
go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, meanwhile, you find out when it was made or what it was made. Funny that we're mentioning this because just in Christmas when you weren't here, we were playing Loteria at the house with my family.
Yeah.
And we found a Portuguese coin. But that Portuguese coin, it's more valuable. It was, I think, a quarter or $1. It was way more valuable, like 500 to 1,000. Because Portuguese doesn't have their own currency no more. They have euros.
Oh my gosh. Remember when I was cleaning outside and I found a coin? Where's the coin?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so that one, I looked into it. I mean, I think it was a pretty high one as long as, somebody looked at it.
Yeah, because, but the thing is that, like, how did that, I think it was a European coin. So how did a European coin? I mean, anybody could have gone to Europe and brought it back, but it's a pretty old coin. And I looked it up and it looked like it was like $30 something. But what if it's worth more? Like we should take it to
more. Well, I looked into it. I told you, I think it was possibly to be worth like $1,000. But you know what's the problem with that one?
What?
Is that, again, people, if you guys find any type of coin, a tendency
and you're not too sure about it. Yeah.
No, a tendency that people have a lot of the time is clean it. And you don't want to clean it because that's basically the value of it.
But let me tell you, okay, let me tell you. So the penny. Yes. Right now that you're saying about the cleaning, and maybe this will clear it up because you said that it doesn't have to be clean. Make sure not to touch it. Yes and no. So that's why you want to take it to an expert. So the penny that I was telling you about, it's the 1944 steel wheat penny. And it's worth potentially up to $408,000 if found in mint condition. Meaning mint condition that like has to be like pristine condition. Like it has to be like, it can't be rusted or like scratch. I don't know. As perfect as it can be. So imagine one penny, $408,000. And now I'm like, I need to go find that coin ASAP.
But imagine how many pennies you have to go through.
There's a lot of pennies. I mean, the way that it can give it away is because it's made out of steel. And the funny thing and the interesting part about it is that penny was pretty much brought out by accident. So it wasn't meant to be out because the regular penny is copper, but this is it's made out of metal. So that's why it's worth so much, because there's only a few thousands that are out there. Right. And the thing is that as the years go by, they're either gonna get lost, they're gonna get
looking through all those pennies, and if you find it,
so they're gonna get damaged. So they're not going to have that mint condition. So the less and less that there are, the more value that they have.
Or even
that's what I understood from it.
Yes, to that, like that's possibly for that penny. But even in production, the pennies or anything that's damaged, meaning like because coins are basically like hammered. Slammed. Yeah, they're like hammered, and sometimes like they have like it's an error, right?
Yeah.
Like they have an error because the machine is not cutting anymore correctly.
Yeah.
And recently I just saw one that it's a newer coin.
Yes.
Or a newer quarter, but it's a two-tone.
Oh.
So like the actual part that's popping, like it's 3D dimension. That one's like the actual quarter coin or silver. And then the background of it's black.
Oh. And right now, do you know those are actually worth a lot too? Those are collectibles?
That's what I'm saying. It's basically like errors. Make them make them have its value too.
I guess if there's any issues with the coins, like they can be, yeah, that's what I saw, that they can be worth some money. And then I recently saw somebody that was complaining. They're like, I need somebody, because it was a $20 bill that was, you know, like the edges are really thin, but this $20 bill that this person had, it had like a thick edge, like at the very top, the edge was pretty thick. And then somebody duetted the video, and they're like, well, give me that dollar bill. I'm like, I'll take it. But it's because it's gente que sabe. You know, how many dollars have we not, how many coins have we not, you know, gotten rid of because we're not knowledgeable about that.
Right.
And there's people that, you know, they se dedican a eso. And the thing is, like, going back to the penny, if the penny is like in like okay average condition, the steel wheat, you can still get at least like up to $10,000.
Just from a penny.
Just from a penny. But, you know, it can't just be like, oh, I found one and then, you know, I'm going to get $10,000. You have to go to someone who's specialized in,
like rating.
Yeah, like ratings. Yeah. Someone who specializes in that, so that they can actually tell you like, okay, this is worth this much.
Right.
So it's not, yeah, possibly. Okay. We're not saying like, yes, you're going to get $400,000. Yeah. You have to go to someone who specializes in this, who is certified, who can certify this penny for you. So check your pockets, man. I'm like, now, even after I saw that, I was just like, oh, I can't wait. There's so many pennies.
Yeah, like somebody's not actually going to do it. But once you hear that little ringtone of it could be worth more, a lot of people want to do it then, huh?
And let me give you a little bit more detail. So the way that you'll know that if it might be, because, you know, there's people who might try to replicate it. So if it says if it sticks to a magnet, it's made of authentic steel. That's pretty much how you can tell if it's an authentic steel wheat penny, because it'll stick.
Because it's pretty. It is.
That it is. It'll stick to
authentic steel.
Authentic steel, that it will stick to the magnet.
That's the way they check it.
That's the way that you can check. So like, let's say if you find one, you're like, oh my gosh, it checks. So that'll make you probably want to go take it to somebody.
But you were saying like the way they check if it's real or not, like to actually find the penny.
I'm saying, I don't know if that's the way I don't know if that's the way like the professionals do it, but maybe that's the way, like maybe even hearing it too, like hearing the penny.
Like look for it with the little money.
Yeah. So that's probably a way that you can do it.
You were saying a little bit more like that's how a professional does it.
No, I probably should have looked into it, but no, yeah, just definitely. I don't know how you would go about finding a professional. Maybe I don't know. TikTok, you can probably find someone. What is it? Penny tester? Right. I don't know, but that's freaking crazy how you can just, you know. And how many pennies have we not passed by? Oh, it's just a penny. Imagine. Yeah. No, but it's just freaking interesting, like a way that you can make money.
It sure
so many hidden things that you don't. No, not hidden. It's just stuff. I get. Okay, not hidden. It's stuff that is in plain sight that can make you so much money, and then just keep collecting them.
Yeah, or you know, you mándalo ya con tu bank with a coin machine and just, you know, start counting, see how many you have.
Yeah.
Somebody was telling me they helped somebody take coins because their bank, the person that had the coins on the 5 gallons, they were putting coins on 5 gallons for water, the water jug.
Yeah.
Their bank didn't have a coin machine, so he took them to his bank to do it for, you know, to take it to this coin machine. And he said that in a period of time, maybe let's say 5 years, he filled them up. Y quedan como $3,000.
Yeah, so $3,000 in one.
No, and he had like quarters, pennies on these jugs.
Yeah. Well, remember when we tried to fill ours out for our first not Cancun, Puerto Vallarta trip? How much did we get out of it? Wasn't it like $200 or so?
Like
it's still something.
Yeah,
it's still something.
You just don't know.
And it's just a little bit that we filled up. And now imagine like if we would have filled it up all the way.
True.
Maybe we should do that again. That was fun. But te quitan dinero, not a lot. But yeah, guys, check your pockets. Check your man's pockets when you do their laundry. I think you can. And how much are those shoes worth right now, by the way?
But in conclusion with the whole Jimmy situation.
Yes. Back to Jimmy, sorry.
So what happened to him? Basically took him, you know, they had the search warrant. They found the stuff. So they they brought him in for investigation, and they were asking like how did you get the Bitcoin, the 50,000 Bitcoin, and because they was showing on his computer now they had actual proof, and he was saying that on this webpage, the black market webpage, there was a flaw there. So supposedly the person that did the webpage gave it to him for free. Who gives so many Bitcoin for that much, right? For free, and another $5,000. I mean, 5,000 Bitcoin on top of that, for he can help them fix the glitch on the webpage. So he said that, and then at the end, before he had his jury, and they're saying that they think like he was one of the persons that helped to do the Bitcoin, like to be able to do the recipe for this Bitcoin. They believe Jimmy was part of that too. So Jimmy got basically, or he went to jury. Yeah, he went to jury, and they gave him 1 year and 1 day for the wire transfer. But the rest of the money of the Bitcoin was the government stayed with it, because obviously they do put it on public, who's going to claim it.
Yes.
But because it was in the black market, they're going to, whoever claimed it was going to be incriminating themselves because they were buying the wrong things. Yeah.
Oh, so they're trying to use it as bait.
By this time, when they finally got Jimmy on a jury, the Bitcoin that he has stolen now was worth $3 billion.
Dang.
$3 billion. Let that ring in your head.
$3 billion.
So you complain about...
That's a lot of pennies.
He only complained a fraction of it when he made the 911 call. So just because he felt some type of way making that anger 911 call, he got arrested, and not more Bitcoin for him.
Hi, Jimmy. Jimmy.
What would you do with those $3 billion, Nada?
$3 billion?
Would you do what he was doing, just wasting it and living a lavish life?
Oh, there's a lot I can use the $3 billion for. I would get, what would I get? Of course, what do you say? Retire my parents. Well, they're already retired, but get them whatever they want. Take care of our parents. Take care of you. Take care of us. Make sure everybody who we consider is close and who deserves it, will be taken care of.
Yeah, but I think that could go in a bad way too.
Why?
Because
more money, more problems. Always like that.
Right.
No, and I do want to ask you, how much are those shoes worth right now?
I don't know. I don't keep up to date to see how much they're worth it.
Do you think they're worth more than what you bought them for? What if the box is not in mint condition?
Well, that's something that we'll know if I do tend to sell them. But, I think the value of them are more important to me than the actual money.
Yeah, I know.
As well as another thing that we can talk about I know you probably heard the phrase that people say, time is money.
Yes.
So there you go. Like, what if you will get paid in time instead and not money?
If I were to get paid with time instead of money. Well, I think that's a tough one.
Because it's like vice versa, right? You need money to actually do stuff, but then if you have money and you don't have time, you can't do stuff either. So you have to have a balance.
But then I feel like you can have more money than time. You know what I mean?
But what if, like, I don't know if you ever seen I don't know if you ever seen the movie In Time.
Yeah, that's a badass movie.
So for them, it's like they didn't really have time. Time was cut to them.
Exactly.
So you feel like what you're saying is correct? No, because what if it's cut for you?
But I mean, if you really think about it, like money and time se te puede cortar in a blink of an eye, right? It can get stolen. You can have this huge debt and you can be completely wiped out. Same thing with the movie. The movie, like somebody can pretty much knock you out and pretty much te quita todo tu tiempo and you're gone. You know, same thing with money. So I feel like it's kind of like the same, and you can trade the time and you can gamble your money, gamble your time. So time is money. I mean, like, again, time is money. That's why I feel like that's where the phrase comes, like, time is money.
Yeah, but it's different if you're in that situation. Because like in the movie, they were genetically able to not grow. So genetically speaking,
like they could just stay with
they were
time.
staying at 25 years. Like they wouldn't be physically older. So yeah, at 25 years, and they only had one more year to live. Because on 25, the time would start counting down. So technically speaking, they only were able to live to 26 years if they got there. And as you mentioned, they were able to purchase, pay debt, and they were purchasing things with their time. So obviously, if you made a bad purchase, pues doesn't mean you were going to be living for 26 years for sure. It was whatever time you had left. So it could have been a month, a week. And he says, like, in 1 week, I spent my whole year because we were in debt. Our family was in debt. And, you know, it's kind of crazy because they put the ghetto, and like they said, the ghetto where these people were living like day by day. Low income. They were living day by day.
Which is like the whole check, you know, how people live paycheck to paycheck.
And the people that were rich, like, they didn't really have... They envied these people that lived day by day because they saw them like living a fast-paced movement. Because again, they would have to figure out, si me faltaban un minute, they had to figure out a way to get more. It could have been, again, gambling, fighting, working, but like they were like living a fast pace. When over here, the people that have money, they had all the time in the world, but they weren't able to do anything because, as what you mentioned, they will be able to get for it, or they were able to basically, you know, get robbed. So they will always have bodyguards around them, and they wouldn't do anything extravagant.
But that's the thing. Like, I'm like, right now that you're talking about it, like, I would rather not have the whole time thing and really just live with money rather than time.
Well, part of the movie, he tried to buy somebody off, and he was like, no, like, your money is not worth for me. My time is worth for me. Because he was a timekeeper, and he was like, I've been doing this for 40 years. So if I get this money that you're giving me, basically time transaction, it's like, what happens to my 40 years that I've been working all this time?
Exactly. I mean, it's a whole gamble, man. I don't know. I don't think I would imagine, like, if that ever does happen. I don't know if it'll ever will.
Would you think it would be people would take their time more seriously? Obviously, it shows it in the movie.
Yeah, because think about it. Like, whenever, like, when people, like, cancer patients, when they're told, like, okay, you have this much time to live, like, all of a sudden, well, I'm not saying everybody, like, all of a sudden you want to do all these things. Like, I want to travel. I'm going to wipe out my bank. It's like, I'm going to die anyway. So I'm just going to, you know, do things that I never wanted to do. So it's like, why wait until you're going to die to do something for yourself? Or
like we mentioned already, let's say you say, oh, when I retire, I'm going to do this, but are you going to get there?
Exactly. So
or you get there and you're not able to move around.
Exactly. Or something happens between that time because there was a TikTok that I reposted, and it said that there was this woman that had saved up all of her retirement, and I think she was about to retire or something like that, and she passed. And
she wasn't able to do anything.
And she never she
who
had
kept it.
Nobody. I mean, I don't know who kept it.
Basically, nobody. Yeah. I think she didn't even put anything on their claim. But the point is, as you mentioned, like she waited all these years with all this amount, but she didn't even have a year to be able to be able to enjoy it.
Yeah, and she had like I think she had like and not, well, not specifically with that TikTok, but there's people that have so much, and I was one of those that they have so much vacation time, so much. I think vacation, and it's different for like PTO, paid time off. I don't know if it's the same thing, but pretty much vacation time. Like there's people who do not take time off because they're like, no, I have to work. Or maybe if like, and maybe I did it for the reason that I have been laid off before. And I was like, okay, no, like if that ever happens, that money will be, you know, I can probably get it paid out, and I can live off of that for a little bit. But it's just, we're thinking like so limited, where it's like, okay, yeah, se te va a acabar el dinero eventually, but you can still try to find another job, or, you know, find a way to make money, right? Just like those people in time, like you have a minute left of life. I have to be quick and try to figure out, and eventually they would figure it out. And if you don't figure it out right there and then, like you're going to figure it out eventually. But what I'm saying is just like, take time off, take your vacations. And I've been wiping out my my vacation hours. We both have. How do you feel about that? Like when you have like no vacation time?
Well, it's different though. As you mentioned, like, you know, before we wouldn't have that.
Yeah.
And we would, I don't know, we will live life too seriously then, because it was like, if they, like, I want to be looked at as somebody that looks responsible, but what if they lay you off? What does that leave you to? Or what, did you win anything at the end of the day?
Exactly. Like all of that time, because again, you're working for your time off. So like at the end, it's just like, I didn't take any time off. And now that you want,
now you're let go.
Now that you're let go, like all of that time that you could have enjoyed your life a little bit more, because that's the point of it, right? Like, I appreciate that at least at, you know, at our jobs, they give us time off, so that, you know, again, we are able to like refresh ourselves. We're able to come back again and like, okay, just keep going and appreciate that we're able to take that time off, because not everybody is able to take it off, but people that, I don't know. Sorry, go ahead. I think you were going to say something. No,
well, that's true. I think the trouble we're having now is that people don't take their jobs seriously. So they see this time that they have, and it's like, oh, well, I have it, I'm going to just take it, right? But then what if you really want to do something, you're not able to because you wasted it on something that
wasn't really worth it.
But this movie really, to be honest, is trippy, because we're talking about this movie's about
time,
2011, 2012.
Yeah.
So when it came out, I was trying to live the life of, I'm 18 now, let me live, right? Because that's what we think about as an adult.
Yeah.
But now thinking back, I've been living my 16 years of adult. And it's like, when I watched the movie again, I was like, it gives you a message. But it was, if you're not really with a strong mind right now, honestly, this movie will give you anxiety.
Yeah.
If you look back and pay attention to every message that it's giving you.
But you'll probably feel like, damn, I'm wasting my time. I need to do something.
Yes, on vice versa, as what we just mentioned.
Yeah.
You have time, but you don't have money. And you have money, but you don't have time. And then how seriously are you being? Are you being too serious? Are you not being serious enough?
Yeah.
It's almost when you get that question, it's like, have I done anything? That's what I'm saying. You really need to have the balance of to be able to do both.
Yeah.
But for me, I didn't learn this until now. And I remember back again, I was trying to live my adult life, but it was more of my free life, you know, those 18 to 21. But my dad would say, like, no, you have to do this, you have to do that. And I'm like, man, I'm barely 18 to be able to live free, and you're not letting me. And I wish my dad would have shown me other things, you know, like loans or something that would have to do with currency, just to appreciate what he's really telling me. Because the way he was telling me was like, you're wasting your time.
Yeah.
And you're not getting anything out of it.
Yeah. And the thing is that, like, again, taking it back to the whole parenting, because they're showing you whatever they know, you know, like how did I say last time in the episode? Like they're showing us a su manera, like whatever they were taught, and just like Banani said, like they're just trying to be better. Like every single generation is trying to be better. But no, but yeah, like I want to take it back to where you said that like you have money but no time, or you have time but no money.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw Pelon from Fuerza Regida.
Mm-hmm.
He ended up posting like kind of like a get to know me, and in one of them, there was like a question. It was kind of like a questionnaire, and one of the question is it said, "Would you rather have more time, I think, or more money?" And then he answered, "More time." When
because
like
he's all over the place right now.
yeah,
I bet.
but think about it, like when they were, before all of this, before se metieron a la cantada, to be musicians, they probably wanted more money. They wanted more money, and now it's like how things have changed, and they probably they have a lot of money, but now they probably have very little time. And even when they do have the time, they're still working. Like he's on freaking Zoom. He's always on Zoom, on TikTok, hustling on TikTok live, hustling, posting, trying to, make things better. So I don't know. So it's like, is it better to have money than time? It's like how do you find that balance? Like I want somebody to actually tap in and like really explain, or maybe even bring somebody in and be like, hey, like,
you don't feel like you're doing that right now? Because if you don't feel like you're doing it, watch this movie
doing what?
And let's see if you don't get the anxiety to have you thinking of like all the situation that they're talking about. Because even in one of the situation, they're like, okay, right, the currency is time. They have the time, but let's say Sam, for example, I'm just using because Sam comes from Uncle Sam. So Sam, for example, starts to raise everything higher. So you fighting to have this much time doesn't really matter because eventually the product is going to get higher. So you don't think that's really has happened to us?
Yeah.
And eventually here, that's why what I was trying to ask you, like, just by that, like, we probably have more money, but everything's getting more expensive. So what does it become more harder? So for me, I don't feel you're those persons to be like, what am I doing? I think you really balance yourself for the age that you have. Or both of us, right? We balance ourselves to have a good time, but still be responsible. Now, take time off, but before we probably didn't, and now we do. And a lot of the time, people wouldn't see it. Especially me, when I was the mechanic, my thing for sure was I didn't really have time, so I appreciate it, right?
Yeah.
And one way I would say, if I told somebody, be here around this time and you don't show up, I'm sorry, but I'm leaving. Because my time was valuable to me.
Exactly.
So, that's what I'm saying. Like, you are learning this eventually. And now, do you feel like you are living this in a balanced way or no?
At times, yes. And at times, no. And I want to say at times, yes, because like right now that we're doing the podcast, and then like there was a time where I was, like I was really busy with the nails, and then I was working and, I was helping. I think I was helping with, no, I think at that time I wasn't helping with editing. So I literally had like, even though I was busy with all of that, I still felt like I still had some time. Like I still had like made some time, even though it was still really late, I still try to make some time for myself.
So you pretty much have that balance. That's what it sounds like.
At times. So, and then there's other times where like I have a lot of time, but I don't take advantage of that time. I take that time for granted. Because like sometimes maybe I can just be like, oh, I do not feel like doing anything. And maybe I'm just laying in bed, watching movies, watching Harry Potter. And, when I could have probably been up and, maybe doing some shorts or, posting on TikTok and stuff like that. Because that's, that again, time is money, right? So if we're not posting and doing all this stuff, or even lining it up to have it ready to, focus on those days off, like I just had a day off for work, and I could have focused on that whole day and just do these videos, edit whatever. That way, for the rest of the week, I don't have to worry about creating and taking this time to post these videos. And I probably could have even focused on making more videos, just balancing it out so that I'm able to get all that stuff done. And that way, if I do have a nail appointment, I'll be able to schedule them in rather than, I can't schedule you on this day because, I have to edit, or I have to get ready for this, or I have to redo my research for topics and stuff like that. So time is money.
But okay, time is money. But you cannot put it like that, though, because you just said you wish you had more time to do these other things, kind of almost like what Pelon was saying. Like, I wish I had more time to do these things, but you have the money. This money was sitting there, but that money didn't help you in any way just by sitting there. But you were taking your time, your own self, to do something of which you wanted to, too.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like you're almost contradicting yourself in a way. But it's like, that's why I just feel like we're able to value our time and stuff that we want to do.
No, we are. I think we are more now. Why did it take us so long? I don't know. Because of your work situation. And then I feel like it just depends on the situation of everyone's situation. So like, remember how I said, well, just take a vacation. Not everybody can just drop what they're doing and, request their time off and take off. And even if they did have the hours, they probably don't have the money, or maybe they have kids, and they maybe they don't have somebody to watch the kids, or maybe they don't have enough money to take the kids to the vacations. There's just like different situations. So it's different for me.
It's going to be different for everybody. But I just want to give an example for you. Like, if you feel like you're okay with you don't have no regrets at all.
Oh, regrets I do. Like, again, what I said, that I feel like I can use my time more wisely rather than wasting it.
True.
Yeah.
For me, I don't feel like that.
No.
Even though, yes, sometimes I probably mention it to myself, like, I could have done this, I could have done that. But I have been able to be comfortable and be like, okay, if I didn't do it then, can I do it now? Instead of overthinking about it, like, oh, I should have done it when I was off, or when I had the time. Even though it's a little bit more struggle, pero no, because what if I'm not able to live another day? Why am I gonna like kill myself like that of thinking about it and being like, no, I should have done this, shouldn't done that. But yeah, there's a lot of ways to look at time. We can go on and on about it because everybody lives their different ways. But for sure, go watch this movie if you haven't seen it. If you have, just go watch it again. I think you'll enjoy it again, and you probably start looking at these things, and you be almost like a new person. Yeah, a new life to be like, okay, I've done this, I have done that. What are the ways that they're coming for me almost? Because again, I'm telling you, like, they were showing like you have this much amount, but obviously stuff is going higher in expense. So it was a good movie.
Yeah, it's definitely...
Comment down below and see if you do watch it and tell me a part that you liked.
Yeah, so it's definitely going to give you like a different outlook in life and really just make you reflect on your own life.
But I hope you don't get anxiety. And I guess we close it off with this one.
Yes, so thank you guys. Go ahead and comment, like, share, subscribe.
Guys, as we mentioned before, you can follow us on our own social media platforms, but you could start following Las One y Nos Vamos just like here on YouTube. And our platforms are
TikTok, Instagram, Apple Music, and Spotify. Did I miss one?
Yes, you got them correcto.
Yay! All right, guys. So we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Later. Peace.
Bye.